you finally took back enough pop cans to upgrade to a Panasonic HMC-150, huh? Up here, for it is I, the skate video god.
What?
Quiet, I must prevent you from abusing the power of the HMC-150. You must use the camera on manual mode.
What's wrong with auto? That's how my old camera worked.
Because automatic camera settings are not sufficient. You must take full control of the image.
Okay, I'll learn it. Is it pretty easy?
Come to think of it, it is pretty easy. So silence. Don't open your mouth unless you have a question.
Alright, let's just get this over with so I can start filming at the park.
Okay, well before we do anything, you need to turn your camera on and switch it from the automatic mode to the manual mode. This switch can be found on the left side of the camera. After you have the camera on and working, first thing you will need to do is decide what recording format you want to use. There are 3 things to consider when choosing your recording format: frames per second, resolution, and interlaced or progressive.
Wait, slow down. What does all that mean?
Well, frames per second is the amount of frames that are shot per second. Choices include 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, and 60 frames per second. For a film look, 24 is the way to go. To make it look more like video, use 30 frames per second. 60 frames per second is used if you plan on slowing down the motion in the editing room. HD resolution comes in 2 sizes, 1080 or 720, which are horizontal lines of resolution. Progressive and interlaced are how the frames are shot. Progressive shoots one entire frame at a time, whereas interlaced shoots alternating lines of resolution every frame.
Okay, I think that makes sense.
Good, it better make sense to you. Now you want to navigate the menu to the recording setup screen. Select record format and select the format you want to use. This should always be done before you start a project. Think of what will fit your project best and stick with that format. Next thing that you want to set is the shutter speed. Press the shutter speed plus or minus button until the camera is at the shutter speed you want. Keep in mind that the shutter speed has a direct relation with how much light is let into the lens, so if you're using a fast shutter speed, you will have to make up for it by using a wider f-stop later. Are you ready to move on to the settings of your exposure?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Well, first of all, you want to turn on your zebra stripes. Press the zebra button until the screen says 100%. This will show you what areas of your frame are overexposed. Keep in mind that these stripes will not show up on the footage. They are just a marker for you to set the exposure correctly. Now scroll the iris wheel until you find the f-stop you want.
Alright, well what if I'm shooting in direct sunlight, my f-stop's as close as possible and yet it's still getting overexposed? Or what about if I'm shooting at nighttime, my f-stop's as wide as possible and it's still not properly exposed? What do I do then?
I was getting to that before you interrupted! Well, all you need to do is adjust the ND filter, slide to add an ND filter in front of the lens to lower the light. To boost the light on the frame, you can turn on the gain. Adjust the gain slider to compensate for the lack of light.
Okay, am I ready to shoot yet?
No! Now that you have the image exposed correctly, you need to set the white balance. To do this, you need to hold a white card that is being subjected to the light you are shooting. Press and hold the AWB button on the front left of the camera. Hold this button down until the screen confirms that the white balance has been set.
Okay, I did that. What do I do now?
Well, the last thing you need to do is focus the image. To do this, all you need to do is zoom in as far as possible towards your object. Once you're zoomed in all the way, press the focus assist button to zoom even farther into the subject for precise focusing. Adjust the focus wheel until the image looks as crisp and clear as possible. Once it is focused, press the focus assist button again to turn it off and zoom out of your subject.
Alright, so I'm focused. Can I shoot now?
Yes, you may, you impatient brat! But before you go, remember that you must set these settings every time you shoot to make sure that you're using your HMC-150 to its best ability. If I catch you on automatic again, you can guarantee a fisheye lens hit in your near future. Wah!
Whatever, man. I'm going to film.